Hey friends, welcome to the channel. We are watching Squid Games, and I wasn't planning on doing many or any new shows this fall, but I see all the hype this is getting. All my friends are talking to each other about it, and I actually made this meme and tweeted it. I don't know what Squid Games is, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask. And on the right, I said that I thought people were just talking about Spelunky. I meant Splatoon, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So it's not a Splatoon show, I guess. But yeah, all my friends are talking about it, so heck, here we go. Squid Game. I literally don't know the first thing about it. Don't know what actors are in it, what directors, what the premise is. So it'll be a journey into mystery with me. And I'm going to get out 2 episodes a week on YouTube. I'm going to try to do that. But I'll be ahead on Patreon. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I have the second episode up on Patreon already. So check out early and full reactions there in the link in the description below on Patreon. Leave a like, really helps out the channel. It's struggling a little bit recently, and let's get started.
그 노래를 오징어라고 불렀다. 선을 밟거나 밖으로 나가면 죽는다.
You die.
그래.
Not you lose, you die.
죽는다. 세상을 다 가진 것처럼 행복했었다.
Does it look like a squid? I don't know. Red light, green light. So the show is about little kids playing games? I mean, he sounded older in his narration. He owes money. Don't yell at her. What the heck, man? I mean, this guy looks like he's in his 40s, right? Maybe late 30s. Grow up a little, man. Ooh. It locks after a few times, right? He doesn't know? He doesn't know. He took it to the betting track? Oh, come on, man. OTB. Let the guy cut in front of you, at least. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Note the sarcasm. Nicely done. Oh. It seemed like she pushed him. Oh no. Did you lose it? Did she? It was cut? She did it that quickly? How did she do it that quickly? Oh god, what the fuck? Oh damn! Oh.
내가 잔적 많은 거 어떻게 알아가지고 심장 하나라 여기 안구 하나 대신 가져간다. 오케이?
Holy shit.
그래 거기 구.
That can't hold up in the court of law, right? Oh, he wants the money back. He wants the money back.
죄송한데 아까 드린 10,000원 좀.
This is real bad. Man. Wow. Teach me, sensei. That's the wrong language. Aww.
어제 엄마랑 새아빠랑 스테이크하우스 갔었어. 근데 난 떡볶이가 훨씬 더 맛있어.
She has to worry about his feelings.
엄마가 이런 거 불량식품이라고 못 먹게 하거든.
Aww. She's a good kid. Do you even know what's in it? What the heck?
여자도 요즘 군대 많이 가는 거야. 앞으로 너희들이 살아갈 세상은 남자 여자가 다 똑같이 평등한 세상이야.
Oh my god.
너도 이런 너 더 클 때까지 아빠가 갖고 있어야겠다.
그걸로 담배는 피지 말고.
아빠 담배 끊었어. 진짜 좋은 선물을 사줄게.
It'll save you some money if you don't smoke too.
약속.
내년
Next year.
생각해.
Is her mom gonna try to move her away or something? You know, he hasn't been the most likable guy, but you empathize with him, his situation a lot. I thought it was a pyramid scheme.
그게 아니라
Pyramid scheme.
제가 오늘 선생님에게 그 좋은 기회를 드리고
Here. Ooh.
한 번 이기실 때마다 10만 원을 드리겠습니다.
Whoa.
저에게 10만 원을 주시면 됩니다.
Oh, damn. He's skilled at the do not fall for this. I actually know how to win this. I know how to better your chances. You don't want to throw with the corner. You want to throw the whole thing down, as much surface area as possible. Yeah. Not like that. Yeah, there we go. That's what he did. And you're down 100,000.
그럼 몸으로 때우시면 됩니다.
What?
뭐래?
Oh. Watch how he's doing it. He clearly hit the whole thing. Look at that smug smile. Like, does he just... Is he a sadist just like slapping people around? There we go. There we go. There we go. He's so happy.
너 이리 와. 나 면상이래.
No, you don't want the 100,000?
10만 원입니다.
아,
He forgot what it was all about.
10만 원.
Let's keep playing. Let's keep playing.
이런 거 며칠만 하시면 큰 돈을 벌 수 있습니다.
아이씨.
This is a sales pitch for...
소중 피라미드 뭐 그런 거지.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
사람
성예훈 씨.
How does he know his name? He was targeted.
조정 당시 현재 채무액, 사채,
160 million?
은행 대출.
I gotta look up.
2,500.
Holy shit. I gotta look up the conversion rate.
빈자리가 얼마 안 남았습니다.
남의 돈 훔쳤니?
He sold his body for money.
훔친 것도 아니고.
새 남편이랑
Moving.
내년에
Where?
뭐
US.
미국으로 간다 하더라.
그래?
네 시방 먹고먹으러 밥에 넘어가네? 애 아바이가 알을 키울 경제적인 그런 것만 된다고 보면은 알을 찾을 수 있다 카대. 진짜로 가영이 안 보고 살 자신 있나?
A lot of talk about life and death. You gotta be super desperate to do this.
암호는
무궁화 꽃이
Someone sleeping here already?
보네요. 저
They got knocked out.
게임하는 데까지는 여기서
This is
얼마나
by gas? Oh. Oh, he had a gas mask on. I guessed it was gas before I even saw the gas mask. How did he not? At least 456 contestants. Number 1.
얼마 안 남았어.
예?
Oh.
의사가 그러는데 내 이 머릿속에
Is that the same?
야, 널 여기서 다 만나네. 어? 인연 눈깔 봐라.
She's.
승리는 여전하.
Oh, damn. No one's stepping in? Come on.
너 북한 년이니까 인공기 흔들어야지. 응?
She can't help where she was born.
너 일로 와봐.
Oh, come on. You came here to beat her up too?
네가 시켰냐? 내 돈 훔쳐오라고?
개새끼.
내 깡패가 사람 죽여.
Oh my god.
빨리 좀 나와보세요.
Why is one a square? Are these PlayStation buttons? Oh, it's this triangle, square, circle. Yeah, got it.
여러분들은 앞으로 6일간 모두 6개의 게임에 참가하시게 됩니다. 조상우,
Oh.
공중권 투자 2팀 팀장, 고객 이해지금을 무단으로 배돌려
They play the same game with everybody. Yeah, there we go.
옵션 채무 13억 9천 369원 박종.
Everyone's desperate here.
돌아가서 남은 인생을 빚쟁이들에게 쫓기며 쓰레기처럼 사시겠습니까? 아니면 저희가 드리는 마지막 기회를 잡으시겠습니까?
상금이 대충 얼마나 되나요?
Hey, it's Kanashiro's Palace.
한
The big piggy bank? Someone get that reference, please.
첫
Kanashiro's
번째
Palace.
게임이 끝나고
He's either gonna go far or get backstabbed immediately and die. Ooh, not allowed. Whoa.
뭐냐? 장난 아니다. 아, 씨발 존나 크다.
카메라를 달아보세요. 스마일.
I think this guy is savoring the anticipation. Is it painted? It's a what? Huh.
네가 빚이 있어? 아 쌍문동에 자랑 서울대 조상우가?
첫 번째 게임에 오신 여러분을
형 다음에 얘기해.
I don't know how many people can win, but everyone's enemies right now.
This is the front man speaking. Preparations for the first game are complete.
What are the holes in the...
저 뭐냐? 존나 이상하게 생겼네. 씨발 대가리 존나 크다.
이후에 움직임이 감지되면 탈락입니다. 술래의 눈을 피해
5
결승전에
minutes?
들어오는 분들은
Doesn't seem that far. Oh, shoot.
324번.
They shot him. Don't talk. Don't move. Don't move. Oh, jeez. Jeez, how many people stayed still? Oh, crap. He's still trying to crawl. Oh my god. Holy crap.
피었습니다를 외치는 동안 전진할 수 있으며 이후에 움직임이 감지되면 탈락.
Damn. Holy crap. And yeah. He's having fun. Nobody moved except for him. Get up already. You're gonna run out of time. Oh, 2 minutes, 40 seconds?
등 뒤에 숨으면 감지되지 않아.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Very good idea. Go, 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 go. She's hiding behind him. Oh, I love it. I love it.
아까부터
네 뒤통수 치면
Haha.
이런 쌍년이
지금 한 대 더 쳐줄까 네 뒤통수?
하지마 제발.
Oh. Oh my god. Holy crap. Oh. Can't see his face. In other words, he's having fun, it seems like. Oh my god. Damn. Hey, you made it! You're so close. Oh! Oh shit! Someone grabbed him? Oh, saved his freaking life. That takes a lot of strength. Oh my god. Oh. And the rest get mowed down? Oh jeez. How many left? That was just day 1. Game 1. What the heck? Yeah, this guy is super, super rich. Holy crap. On a whole island by themselves? Oh my god. What the heck? Wow, this was just the first episode. I have no idea what this show is going to be like when they continue to ramp it up in the coming episodes. First of all, though, looked up the conversion rate for Korean won to American dollars, and what the heck? Some of these people owe $1 million. Gi-hun owes 415 million won, which is $350,000. I can't even. That's just so bad. And I mean, I have to bring up the fact that we have 2 recent, like major foreign hits from South Korea. The first one being Parasite, and now this one being Squid Game. And they both focus in so much on the socioeconomic conditions in their country, forcing their citizens into compromising situations. And I don't know too much about the conditions in South Korea, but it feels very similar to the US in that the economy as a whole is doing very well, but individual people are suffering. Income inequality, the wealth gap just keeps growing. People are being left behind. People are getting desperate. And they're getting exploited. Just classic capitalism working as intended, actually. But yeah, for so long, people in the United States would just take any job, sometimes work 2 to 3 jobs just to make ends meet. They get paid a non-living wage, and it's not like they can just leave because often there isn't a better option out there. Sometimes, if workers are lucky enough to get health insurance through their employer, losing healthcare is not an option, so they're forced to stay at whatever job they have. And I know in South Korea it seems like there are less jobs available, but in the United States there are just jobs that do not pay you enough to live. And employers know that. They squeeze whatever they can out of you because they know how desperate you are, and the exploitation is the point. So here in this show, it's the exact same thing, except it isn't for the sake of these big companies making more and more money, and making rich people even richer. The sake of this show is for one person's entertainment. This whole entire thing, this narrator is just doing this for his own entertainment. And it's this wealth gap, these dire circumstances that actually makes it rather easy to empathize with Gi-hoon. Your first impression of him isn't all that great. The way he treats his mother, just yelling at her like that, was not a fan of his early on. Still not a fan of some of his worst traits, but they still made him a character that you can kind of get behind. He's got some redeeming qualities, and the situation he's in, it hurts. And you understand why he's so grumpy, and dealing with his own insecurities is making him lash out. It's not an excuse for his behavior, but I understand where he's coming from. And it's not like he can afford therapy in his current state, which would be my number one recommendation for him. So he's basically stuck where he is with no job prospects and no way to get some mental health help. And this first episode actually reminded me of a manga that I used to read. It was called Liar Game. I don't remember actually that much about it. I only read it a little bit back when it came out in 2005. But kind of similar premise. There were games with extremely high stakes. You could win a lot of money, but it could actually push you into a lot more debt as well. And people voluntarily chose to participate in these games. I don't think there was a life or death component to them, but I didn't get very far. I might go back and read it at some point. Speaking of life and death, though, I really like the way they set up the whole premise of life and death in this show. The narrator mentions that losing the Squid Game he played as a child would result in death. And that kind of jumps out to you as oh, the kids are having fun, raising these imaginary stakes and playing make-believe. And then the ultimate feeling of triumph, of manse, is just that much more pronounced because of it. So yeah, I'm assuming now that that person has recreated this game as a sort of reality television show for his own enjoyment, and he's living vicariously through these players. But yeah, there was all this talk about life and death, so I kind of jokingly said that 101, the guy who's a thief, a gang member, I said he's either going to go pretty far or he's going to get backstabbed and die. Little did I know that game of red light, green light starts and people actually get mowed down, dropping off like flies. No one expected this to be a life or death game, and a bunch of them just run, even though you're supposed to stay still. I get it. In that moment, they just feared so much and emotions overtook the logical part of their brain, but it was sad to watch. But yeah, this show does a great job making you invested in a lot of its characters and storylines. Gi-hoon actually has to rely on others a lot to get things done, not even just in the game, in his life as well. Love that little moment with the claw machine. That kid was really, really nice. Such a pro at the claw game and was happy just to help this old guy out. And that was a really sweet scene. But also, obviously, the big one, Gi-hoon's mom is working so hard. And he's 47, so she's probably late 60s, early 70s, and I don't know. She tells him about his daughter leaving for the US and is like, can you really live without her? Which, she's worried about him more than anything else. It's not even mentioned that she will be without her own granddaughter, the person she supposedly loves most now, enough to change her PIN number. Also, really shitty thing to do by his Gi-hoon's ex-wife and her new husband, not even telling Gi-hoon, leaving it to the daughter to tell him. And I mean, because she can't do it, because how could she break his heart like that? Grandma has to do it instead. The parents, the mom and the stepmom are really, really cruel, putting it on a child like that. And yeah, that was really bad. But yeah, Granny makes a plea to Gi-hoon to make money so he can get the daughter back, which seems a little odd. I don't know how custody battles work outside the United States, but she was saying apparently if Gi-hoon can take care of her financially, he can just take her back. I know in the United States, custody typically goes to the mother, but in this case, her mother and stepfather have already shown that they can take care of her. Why would Gi-hoon get custody? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I mean, she's such a sweet little girl, though. and just has too much put on her. The way she has to look out for her father, like she's so emotionally mature, which is respectable, but also so sad that she's had to grow up so quickly. The birthday dinner honestly seemed to be more about him than about her. Like she was all the time like reassuring him that she's having a good time, that she gets to eat this junk food that her mom won't let her eat, so she's actually really, really happy. And then the gun, holy crap. I mean, I guess that's foreshadowing that things might not always be what they seem in games like these, and also showing a little bit of Gi-hoon's recklessness. I mean, he gambles, we'll get into more of that a little later, but after he wins the gift, he doesn't even check what's in the box before giving it to her. Like, how can you do that? And just like how he doesn't know what the Squid Games entail, but he signs up anyway. And I mean, he's desperate. And actually, there's a study that shows that being in desperate financial situations actually lowers your IQ. Not like, oh, being born poor makes you dumber. It's in a study they did, multiple studies, they measured IQ, then gave people money, the same people some money, and then they tested their IQ again, and it wound up being higher. So being in a desperate state makes you make dumb decisions. So I'm gonna try not to judge Gi-hoon too harshly, or any of the characters involved in this game too harshly. But man, yeah, Gi-hoon, he tries to talk to her as if he planned the gun lighter gift for her. It was really, really, really stupid, but also kind of amusing. And then in the game, there are also some really, really likable characters. He needs the help of a bunch of them to get through the whole thing. And really solid premise because, I mean, we're inevitably going to get attached to some of these people, and some of them are inevitably going to die. They're going to break our hearts for sure. And his old friend Cho Sang-woo was supposed to be out of the country, tries to distance himself from Gi-hoon at first because he's desperate for money and he views him as a possible barrier to getting more money. But upon realizing it's a life or death game, he encourages him, tells him to get on his feet, gives him advice to get behind someone, gets him unfrozen. And there was also that man at the end catching Gi-hoon when he was about to fall and die. Wow, it's just like, he didn't have time to think about it. It was just instant reflex, selfless, and pretty strong too. The grip strength you have to have, the core strength, the leg strength, and also, number 67. I should dislike this woman pickpocket character. Our main character, Gi-hoon, would be in a much better situation if she hadn't stolen his money. But wow, she's just so cool. First, I don't know how she was able to take the money that fast. You didn't see. I thought she pushed him like out of the way to like maybe get away a little bit, but she somehow knifed or cut a hole in his jacket pocket and took the money in like a second. That's really, really impressive. And it's also really smart that she hangs out at the OTB where people will win money, and yeah, it's pretty genius. And also hiding behind the one person who she backstabbed. She could have honestly finished off 101 if she wanted to. And I hope not finishing him off doesn't come back to bite her, because he's definitely going to hold a grudge, right? And yeah, I just think she's a really good character. Am I alone? It's not because the actress is just like very pretty. That's not the only reason, right? Like, someone who isn't attracted to women, back me up on this. Let me know if you find her as compelling a character as I do. But yeah, the grab of 101's hair is audacious as heck. And even in this like high pressure situation, she was bold enough to do something like that. So really, really impressive. And all right, I was going to talk about Gi-hoon's gambling addiction, and he's just so far in the hole that gambling feels like the only way out. But he kind of gets lost in the sauce a little bit. Like, he gets so excited when he wins. We saw it at the racetrack. We saw it when that kid helped him win a prize for his daughter. He's just so full of happiness, euphoria. And I mean, both of those situations wound up getting pretty messed up. The 4 million won would have barely been enough for, or not even enough to cover 1% of his debt. And then he had that stolen. And then the gift wound up being a fake gun that's a lighter. Yikes. But yeah, that euphoric high of winning these games. Actually, it was very reminiscent of the opening when the kid won the Squid Game. So that's something to keep an eye on, I think. And then the actual Squid Games. Well, first it was the paper flipping. I cannot pronounce it. The paper flipping game. That was fun to watch. I actually haven't played it myself, but I know the strategy. But he got so caught up in the emotions of the game that when he finally wins, he actually goes to slap the guy instead of collecting on the 100,000 won, which is actually only like $84 US, which, my God. But yeah, he winds up taking the money, and he actually looks like really sad when he takes the money because he wanted that euphoric high of getting revenge. So he's obviously a very emotional person, and he also I said I wouldn't judge them based on their IQ, but he's not very bright. At the very least, he doesn't have any experience with like game theory. There was the crane game, couldn't do it, which I guess is just practice. The paper flipping though, he couldn't do it as well. But he also doesn't have like good instincts and a capability, like the ability to learn, because the suit guy like showed him how to do it over and over and over again. But he just still couldn't figure it out. I think he just threw it in a way that he didn't intend to. I don't think he even did it on purpose, like hitting it straight on like this. And then with the freaking car with all the people already asleep, he was like, oh, they're all tired. Even though the guy in the front had a gas mask on, that was so mind-boggling to me that he didn't realize that they had been all knocked out by gas when the guy in front, when the driver had a gas mask. So not the brightest. Not the brightest. And then for the red light, green light game, he keeps his eyes on the creepy doll machine, even though you have an audio cue for when you can move forward and when you need to stay still. Like, in my opinion, you can look up from time to time, but at least make sure there are no ground level obstructions before you proceed, right? And, but yeah, a lot of people did a lot worse though, so I guess I can't put him down too much for messing up a couple times. But yeah, I think it might be time to make some allies though, especially since his friend helped him out and then this guy just grabbed onto him. I would like for him to team up with number 67, but I don't think he's letting go of that grudge anytime soon. But yeah, I like number 67. I hope so. But anyway, but yeah, how many of you would do the same as the guy who grabbed Gihun? Because he didn't do it on purpose. I think it was just a reflex, but like everyday life on the street, I go out of my way to help people, but put me in that situation where my survival is at stake, when today's fellow victim could be tomorrow's enemy, I don't know if I would have saved him. Like the risk is just so high. So I don't know. But yeah, Ki-hoon is an interesting character. He has his good parts and his bad parts. I do consider him a bit of a coward though, and not for like any typical reason like running away from the debtors. But more because he went after 67 because she's a woman and he felt like he could take her. But the moment 101 shows a little aggression towards him, he's like, help, he's trying to kill me. Which I guess I wouldn't consider him a coward for wanting to run from 101 if he didn't also torment people when he thought he could get away with it. But anyway, yeah, Gi-hoon's solution to everything is gambling. And I wonder how much of it is actually fueled by the love of the feeling he has when he wins. Like he was so excited to slap the handsome business looking guy, and he takes risks when he shouldn't, taking out loans he can't repay to open businesses, taking part in these Squid Games without knowing what's up with them. And I'm curious to see what his character arc is going to be like, if he feels any kind of euphoria, if and when he wins. And yeah, another character we all have to love is the old guy though. He was really impressive. Got back into the rhythm of things immediately. Everyone else was still frozen. Seemed to be enjoying himself quite a lot. And I guess we could chalk that up to the fact that he really doesn't feel like he has anything to lose. Like a Walter White, I've got cancer, so let's take risks. What's the worst that could happen kind of thing. Maybe it could be something else though. It's possible he's number one because he's here from a past round of games he's played before and won before. Because we don't know how long this thing has been going on. Maybe he won once, got rich, enjoyed a long, fun life, but then came back because of the tumor and was like, hey, if I'm gonna die, I might as well risk it and have some fun, because the moment of euphoria when he finally won in the past would have been really, really high. So maybe he wants to recapture that again. But yeah, there are 3 clauses in these games that people signed. The third one is that if the majority agrees, they can back out. So yeah, some of these people are really, really desperate, but it is a death game. Forcing people to compete if they're in the minority feels ethically wrong. So I'm hoping the majority of people try to back out, but I mean, there is no show if they don't come back in at some point. So, and there are 9 episodes and only 6 games. So maybe we have a 2-parter or maybe some episodes where it's a bit calmer. But yeah, anyway, Wow, there's so many things I still didn't talk about. I didn't even talk about the surveillance state and everything that comes with that. There's so much to think about just after one episode, but I'm gonna have to end it soon, this commentary soon, or else it'll go on forever. But themes to look out for after this episode, this quest for this euphoric feeling of victory is going to be huge. Life and death, what we're willing to risk, desperation, income inequality, wealth disparity, the crumbling of society in general. So many interesting things to keep an eye on. I didn't even mention the guards. Oh man. I have to wonder, are they desperate people as well? And how much money would you have to be paid to turn a blind eye to these games? Because they clearly did nothing to stop it. They knew everything that was about to happen because they had to plan this all out. So, yeah, none of them called the police or something. I don't know. Called authorities? I don't know. And the choice of music in this episode, the happy music from the intro flashback playing during the paper flipping game, different points throughout the episode, and the song that played during the last bit of the red light, green light, that was really, really good. Couldn't help but sing along a little bit. Oh yeah, and 101 beating on 67 and no one intervenes on her behalf. Like, I know the bystander effect is a thing, but still. And I'm wondering if it's cultural too, like how much of it is because of Asian culture, like you have to keep your head down and that kind of mentality. I hate that kind of thinking so much, as you can tell from my YouTube channel probably. Full reactions, early reactions on Patreon in the link in the description below. I'll have another episode up on Friday. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, it really helps the channel, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye friends.